is the Ridiculously Amazing Insurance Agent podcast hosted by me, Kelly Donahue-Piro. This show is for growing agencies looking to maximize their biggest investment, their people. We mash up our 3-minute videos from the previous week, all with tips on how to be ridiculously amazing at insurance sales, retention, processes, marketing, running in an agency, and time management. If you want them daily, like us on social media as they're posted. But let's get started. So I have a philosophy that there's people out there that have jobs and people out there who have careers. People who have careers are hungry for knowledge and they want to keep growing and they want to keep learning and they want to keep, strengthening their tools. And so if you people on your team, especially in a sales role that don't want to learn, I'm going to tell you that that's a big warning flag for me. I can't get enough knowledge. If I could, I would spend, 2 days a week just poring over books and research and just sharpening my tools. But when there's a obstruction to knowledge, you have to be thinking, are you serious? You don't want to get better at anything? Is that really the right fit for your team? So listen to how we talk about how sales professionals are hungry for more knowledge so that they can keep getting better and better. Hey everyone, it's a new week and it's Kelly Donahue-Piro here from Agency Performance Partners. What we're going to do is actually talk a little bit about how we become sales professionals. So everywhere in many agencies, we have people who quote, but aren't real true sales professionals. And I want to take some time today to say the 4 biggest difference between a sales professional and an agent who happens to quote insurance. And there are 2 different items. In fact, in many agencies, sales can be somewhat of a dirty word, and that's something we want to work out and work against. And so the 4 tips that we're going to go over is they're always learning. Sales professionals are prepared. They don't focus on quoting, they focus on selling, and they believe in role playing. And I want to just say up front that the word sales is not a dirty word. Sales isn't about manipulation. It's not about, beating people over the head. It's not about aggression. It's not about, forcing people to do things that they don't want to do against their will. In fact, I think when you have a bad taste in your mouth about sales, it's because you had a bad sales experience. But similar to the way you might have had a bad meal at a restaurant, you don't stop eating out. You need to break up with the idea that all sales is horrible. And I hope that I can show you that today. So the first one is sales professionals are always learning. And I think that this is a huge gap we have in insurance where we stop learning. One of the questions I ask all new team members of an agency is there any training you could benefit from? No, I'm good. I'm like, really? Because there's 7 million things I want to learn. I want to get better at Excel. I want to understand, different personality types. I want to go ahead and understand how I can get better at selling EPLI coverage. And when we stop learning, that's not a profession. That means we have a job. We have something lather, rinse, repeat. We don't want to stretch ourselves. I mean, there is no shortage of sales books out there and sales training, but it's either we don't have time for that or we don't see the benefit. And that's because we're in the mindset of quote, 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 sell what we can, not how do we introduce this so that we are the impressive agency to work with. And I want to be clear that sales strategies are all about how to win the customer over. It's not about beating them over the head. It's how do you explain clearly your value? How do you go ahead and make sure that you're always focused on, listening to the customer and how to solve their problems? That's what modern sales is. Modern sales is not little lady, how do I get you in this car? We're well beyond that today. And so for true sales professionals, they're eager, thirsty, hungry for knowledge. They're hopefully reading sales books on their own in their own free time. But if your team is not doing that, that's a strategy you might want to think through and think about. Is how do we get everybody focused on becoming the best at what they do? And if we have stopped learning, we stop dying, we start growing. And that's why I think every sales professional that I'm truly impressed by, I'm like, this is an impressive person. I would love to have them on my team. They're reading and they're engaging and they're not staying small. So ask yourself, do you have a team of sales professionals who are learning or people who just want to quote and hope for the best? And when you ask that question, you might be surprised what you find. Now, just a friendly reminder, we have a sales training course in our online school, and you can either subscribe for $245 a month. That's the best way to get the course. You get that in all of our other courses as well. So if your team needs a little help in this area, this is great because it's for inbound leads. And so it's a good step. Just start the process, and you might be surprised. People might like learning at the end. Another strategy that sales professionals take is preparedness. They aren't going into sales blind, and they certainly aren't asking to interrogate the client. They do their homework, they do their research, and they're going to every interaction looking for a marriage, not a one-night stand. And that's why being prepared in sales is so critical. In this 3-minute video, we're going to break down how sales professionals prepare versus just wing it like most of us do in insurance. All right, this week we're focused on sales professionals versus just an agent. Just an agent quotes and hopes for the best. A sales professional stops, has a process, learns, listens, develops solutions, and that's why salespeople are the highest paid people most of the time in America. It's a very good paying job because it's all about relationships. It's not about slimy sales tactics. So the best sales professionals I know, they prepare, they research, they spend their time researching, they understand, they look at their network on LinkedIn to see who else they may know. They look at the client's social media to get a feeling for who they are. They research the business if it's commercial, going on their website, going on their social media. They walk in prepared, not going in and interrogating the client for all the information that they may need. They want to set the stage. They want to set the table for a long-term marriage. They don't want to set the table for a transaction. And so often in insurance, we set our tables for transactions. We make a lot of work on the client where the client is sizing us up, even on personal lines. They're looking for impressiveness, and we just start asking them year, make, model. We don't do anything to build rapport or prepare for the sale. And what this ends up doing is it focuses us so much on price and underwriting guidelines that we get in the weeds real quick. Remember, most people buy from someone they know, like, and trust. And so a huge part of the sales process has to be research and preparedness, likability, and listening. And in sales, if you're just an agent, you're just trying to get the quote done and get on to the next one and hope for the best. Hope's not a great strategy in sales. So take a moment and stop and really focus yourself. Are you 100% focused in being prepared for a sale, or are you winging it because you've got so much other chaos going on because you're so busy, which is another topic for a whole nother day. True sales professionals are not too busy. Now, we have our online school with a sales training program. So if your team needs just some basic sales strategies that are for everybody, this isn't for just producers, this is for anyone who happens to have a license that sells insurance, you should definitely check out our online school with some sales training. We'll see you in the next lesson. Hey, everybody. So want to just let you know, we have our Ridiculously Amazing Insurance Agent podcast. And if you have not already gone and subscribed to it, you're missing out because it's one of the only insurance podcasts out there that has no sponsors, 0 sponsors. And the reason that we do that is we believe that we want to be the podcast for agencies with the people problems, the growing agencies. If you've got 10 people out there, you know what I'm talking about. It gets harder with different personalities. And so we want to bring to you the best vendors. We want to bring to you also the best agency stories out there of facing and doing the hard things for the agencies that are growing. And so if you're interested in a new insurance podcast that isn't too crazy, let us know. We actually do these 3-minute videos as podcasts. You might be listening to it right now. So go ahead, subscribe to the Ridiculously Amazing Insurance Agent podcast. You can go to our website under the podcast section. It's on the top left-hand corner. There's a drop down, click podcasts and subscribe. Go to Apple or iTunes and you can also subscribe there. We'd love to hear from you. Thanks so much. All right, this is probably my favorite one of the entire series because we talk significantly about, quote versus sell. And when we think about quoting versus selling, I just want to kind of remind everybody that, we get so focused on insurance underwriting that we forget that there's a person on the other end of the line. And what we need to do instead is set the table, set the stage, build a relationship, and then worry about the quote secondarily. Because when we start bailing ourselves out because we didn't build any value and the person says, oh, I'm not interested, that's when we become the salespeople we don't like. So listen to this video all on quoting versus selling. All right, Kelly Donahue-Piro here, Agency Performance Partners, for our next 3-minute video. Are you a sales professional or are you just an agent? And this one I could probably talk on for a bajillion hours, okay? A bajillion. Because I find that so many agents, what they do is they quote and then they sell. What I mean by that is they interrogate the person, get all the information, hope for the best. If the price is right, that they'll buy. And they only sell if they come across an obstacle, which in my mind makes us the used car slime balls that we're not trying to be. But we are, because this is how we're setting our table. And instead, sales professionals start selling from the moment that they interact, the first interaction. And the reason why they do that is because they want to get to know the person. They want to build rapport. They want to understand their major challenges, not just price. And when they do that, they find more opportunity. And we take price more and more and more off the table because a sales professional isn't thinking about the quote, they're thinking about the process. How do we help this person? Once they do that, then they get the information to quote. And when they're higher, they have everything that they need to defend their value. But when we're just going ahead and running through a quote to get it out the door as fast as humanly possible, we're missing out. Now, quotes need speed, no doubt, but an extra 5 minutes of rapport building goes such a long way. You have to decide, are you doing a one-night stand or are you trying to get married to this client for life? When you change your perspective, you wouldn't treat your wife or your husband the same way you treat a new lead. It has to be different. Now you'll say, well, they don't want to be on the phone. You're right. I don't want to be on the phone if you're asking me year, make, model, VIN number. We have to approach it differently. And so many agents are short-sighted on this front. They think the customer doesn't want to be on the phone, so we just have to speed through it. That's crap, to be honest with you. If we don't set the table right, we don't set the stage, and we don't have control, then that's the case. Now, in the rare chance that they don't want to be on the phone, you have to decide, is that even our target? And walk away so you don't spend your time on it. But if you want to serve everybody, including the person that doesn't want to be on the phone, you'll never keep them for life. That'll be a short-term marriage. And I don't think that that's what many agencies want to be a part of. So you have to be thinking to yourself, how am I going to sell upfront and quote second? Now remember, we have our online sales course that you can participate in, $245 a month. Go and buy it right on our website. We'll see you soon. All right, everybody. So last video is all on role playing, and you might be cringing right now because you yourself don't like role playing. I get it. But if it's hard, it's probably worth it. And that's what we need to stay focused on. The hard things make us better. The hard things, the uncomfortable things make us stronger. Remember, hard things are not unsafe. They're just uncomfortable. And the more we put ourselves in uncomfortable situations, the better sales professional we're going to be. So listen to our take on role playing. Okay, our final tip on are you a sales professional or just an agent is role playing. And I can't tell you the discomfort when I tell people we're going to role play. People want to throw up. They're just not interested. And I get it. It's uncomfortable. But you know what I've learned in my life is the uncomfortable things are the things that set you apart. And it's not unsafe. It's just uncomfortable. You will not die during a role play. But you will get stronger, you will get better, you will hear how other people are participating, and that's going to make a big difference in everyone's lives. What I need you to focus on and think about is how are we going to plan and proceed if we don't have a safe place to have tactical practice? Navy SEALs just don't go and say, I'm not going to role play this. No, they go out there and they do it. And if you want to be a sales professional, you're going to embrace role playing as a strategy to keep fueling your knowledge and your growth. In fact, one of our top hits every single month on our website is a blog I wrote 7 years ago now. I know it's been that long. And I think it's is role playing just when your insurance consultant's on site? And it still gets a ton of traction. But I think that we have to embrace the idea and outlast the suck of role playing. Once you do it enough times, you get through the FFF, the freaking first times, it becomes so much easier and you learn and you laugh. It's a great ab workout, actually, if you need one. But don't fight it. And agency owners out there, don't stop just because it's uncomfortable and your team doesn't like it. Keep going. That means it's working. But if you can't sit there and say, we're going to role play out how to overcome price, or we're going to role play out how to get the loss runs, or we're going to role play out someone who says, I got to talk to my wife, you're crazy. You are crazy. You need to be prepared and ready to go and keep upping your game every single time. And that's what role playing is going to do. In fact, in our online school, we actually have role-playing videos too for all of our courses. So not just the sales one I've been talking about, all of our courses have role-playing for cross-selling. For every single course you could imagine, there's role-playing videos so people can hear it first and then practice second. So take a look at the online school. $245 a month, you can get it right on our website. We'll see you in the mashup tomorrow. All right, everybody. Well, thanks so much for playing along. You heard a lot about our online school that has a sales training course in it, $245 subscription. We've got cross-selling, renewal calls, time management. It's just a whole plethora of things that your team could use. In fact, I don't know why you're not signed up right now if you haven't already. How are you going to train your team and give them the tools that they need? In fact, we have so many agencies that just use it in their team meetings and say, let's play this 10-minute video and talk about it. And they do that every week and they get through the courses very easily and they see an impact. So if you haven't signed up, what are you waiting for? Also, we want to let you know we have a podcast, and you're going to hear that in a quick ad that we have. But we have the Ridiculously Amazing Insurance Agent podcast. So if you're listening to this and you're like, man, I wish I had the team that Kelly is talking about, but it doesn't seem like I have that. Everything's hard. Listen to the agents that we've taken through our process and what they have to say about doing the hard things. You might be surprised, and you might be interested in learning more. But our podcast has everything from some insurance vendors out there that we think are very timely. We just had Brad Rubin from Archway talk about IT security. We're talking about virtual assistants, and we're talking about doing all the things that matter. So take a moment, subscribe to our podcast, rate it, like it. We don't have any sponsors. We have no sponsors for our videos, if you've noticed. We have no sponsors for our podcast, if you've noticed. And I do that intentionally because here's the thing. I'd like to refer people that I know, like, and trust. And it's not to me about making a payday and having to be an influencer out there. No shame on anybody who it is. I appreciate that. But for me, it's more about high quality, and it's more about making sure that agencies out there see a different side. And when you're paid, it can be a little challenging. So take a look at everything that we have to offer you guys. It's all free. We just want to help agents. And if you like what we have to say, share, like, comment, reach out, and we'll be happy to help you. Have a great day.